and none are bigger than the massive unification fight in the welterweight division that is coming our way on April the 12th, 2025 from the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. We'll see the two reigning champions, the WBA champion, go head to head with the IBF champion for all the belts in this division. It pits the WBA champion, our special guest this evening, Eimantas Stanionis, against the IBF champion, Jaron Ennis. And first of all, Eimantas, delighted you're joining us today from Lithuania, your home base. And dare I say, all the contracts are signed now, all the paper is dotted. It's finally here, the big unification fight that everybody is looking forward to. Do things get really serious from one in terms of preparation and training? Is it very much in the mode now? The big showdown is coming our way at last in terms of the welterweight division.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Yeah, the preparation started, everything is signed, so I'm very happy, for this big fight. It's a big opportunity for me, coming from Lithuania, so it's big not only for me, also for my country.
Yeah, and Eimantas, in terms of that, you mentioned it's a big opportunity, and you're no stranger to fighting on foreign soil in the past as well, and obviously representing Lithuania in the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City and New Jersey. It's a big occasion, and no doubt there'll be many of your supporters and many Lithuanians traveling to that fight as well. And dare I say, did it take a while to get things done, or when talks began, was it fairly sort of smooth in terms? Because sometimes it's hard to arrange these unification fights.
Yeah, no, everything was, pretty simple because I was the guy to raise my hand, and I wanted this fight, unification fight. I asked my team if it's possible, to make this, and they said, yeah, let's see. So they made it. It was very simple, not like, where it's like we need to do this, we need to do this, we ask for this or that. It was pretty simple, and we got it done. When two fighters want to fight, and so there is no issues, I guess.
And this is really two unbeaten fighters as well. Two fighters with no blemishes on their record in terms of that. Two fighters who have been trailblazers in this division since they burst onto the professional scene as well. And we have a sort of different styles coming into this fight. Two different fighters who sort of fight differently as well. It's going to make for an interesting spectacle in terms of inside the ring, because you both bring something very different to this fight.
Yeah, for sure. It's clash of styles. My style is different, his style is different. So yeah, it's going to be a great fight for the fans. That's for sure. I'm always giving my all, my heart, and then giving my 100%. So the fans will be happy.
And I suppose when you're in this division, you always take note of your contenders around, and you've probably seen Jaron Boots Ennis a few times, and you've probably seen some of his fights, whether it be live or on videotape as well. What sort of challenges do you think he possesses, or what do you think are his main strengths in his armory?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with him, because in 2020 I supposed to fight him twice. They asked me if I'll fight him. I said yes. My team said yes. And yeah, we were watching tapes, studying him because we're supposed to fight him. So yeah, he brings different challenge, but it's nothing that I haven't seen because I've been in amateur around for a long time. World championships, yeah, European championships, a lot of national like championships. So. Yeah, he's a great fighter. He switches the. Sometimes he comes to bang. Sometimes he moves and boxes from outside. So it will make for an interesting fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Imontas, in terms of this, you mentioned your amateur career, very decorated in terms of that, in terms of winning European championships and 2005, 15 in terms of welterweight as well. You mentioned being spending a good lot of time in the amateur career as well. Do you think that's an advantage in terms of not making that jump so quick? Some amateurs taste success very early and they make the jump into professional circuit when they're probably not ready in terms of honing their craft. You really honed your craft in the amateur scene before deciding to go professional. Do you think that was an advantage, taking your time?
Yeah, I think so. Amateur background is very important. You get fights, different styles. You go different locations. You travel. So I think it's very important but still, it's like professional boxing. It's a little bit different. Not little, but it's a lot different. Because it's smaller gloves, more rounds. So you have to adapt.
Yeah.
And my style was from amateurs, like professional. So when I came just to professional, in 2017, I fitted like.
Yeah. And I suppose two fighters that respect each other, and that's the word coming out of this fight. Both fighters respect what other fighters have done, and obviously both fighters contain big knockout power as well. Jaron with 29 knockouts. We know your pedigree in terms of knockouts as well. So will that maybe make for a cagey first one or two rounds, both fighters respectful of each other, just to get a feel into that fight rather than going hell for leather once the bell rings. Obviously, it might go that way as the rounds open up. But you think as two fighters respect each other, respect the power that both fighters bring, that it might take a round or two before the real heavy action starts?
I don't think so. I think from the bell it's going to be all action. I like to be in the fire, so he likes also. So I don't know. I think it's going to be from the first bell.
Yeah. And tell me about your training camps in Montes when you prepare for these sort of fights as well. Do you like to move to, obviously, you're going to Atlantic City, New Jersey. Do you like to move to the States maybe 4 weeks before the fight, 6 weeks before the fight? Or do you like to do your heavy bulk of your training camp at home? Or what's the sort of way you like to work it? Obviously, when you're fighting on foreign soil, and obviously, we're talking a bit of a trip as well, it makes the logistics that bit harder to work out.
Yeah, it's hard. I need to go to US because it's like time difference. It's like 7 hours from Atlantic. It's not so big. Like I always go for like to Los Angeles, for training camp. So it's 10 hour difference. So to call my family is the hardest part. My family, my wife. So it's the because the training you need to rest, and then the time difference hits. You feel like lonely, But yeah, most of the time I start my training camp in Lithuania. We're doing a lot of strength and conditioning. Also, I spar with all the national team, from super welterweight to cruiserweight. So my coach gave me crazy workouts, hard. Every single round they change the partners. They come fresh, 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 and yeah, it's good. It's good for stamina. When I go to LA, it's different.
And you mentioned going to the States, and obviously a training camp will be different as well. Are you sort of sourcing out? You don't have to tell me, obviously, because it's private. In terms of sourcing out US fighters that probably have similar styles to Jaron, and you obviously have your training partners at home and sparring partners at home. But obviously, when you come to States, then your management and your team will have to look at identify fighters that may be in US style that you can spar with that might have similar traits to Yaron as well. So that's another logistical sort of challenge in terms of arranging all of that.
Yeah, but I've been there, I done this like all my previous fights, so it's up to my team. They will find, I trust them. And it's honestly, I'm not that guy where you need to find perfect sparring partner, because it's never perfect. The training camps are never perfect. And to find similar like Ennis, it's pretty hard. So I'm just, I think my thing is I need to find the keys for a victory in during the fight, not looking from outside, because sometimes you look in the videotape, and the fighter fights differently, and when you come in, it's different, So if you watch video what he's doing, and when you go in the ring and he's not doing the same thing, you'll be, oh, what's going on? So I like to be like in the fight and find the keys to a victory.
We see in many divisions, Eimantas, the possibilities of trilogies and in terms of rematches and epic sort of first fights, sort of second fights. And yourself and Jaron are the two standouts in terms of this division. And obviously, you're both going into it trying to get the glory for yourself. But do you think there's a possibility that this mightn't be the only time that she might meet in the ring, that there might be another opportunity for whoever might not come out victorious in this? Do you think there's an interest for both fighters to run it back no matter the result?
I think for sure, if it's a great fight, and we are going like show like very good fight, of course, the rematch is always interesting, the big fights and exciting fights. I'm here, for like exciting fights. When I was a kid, I was always watching like exciting fights. I never like 12 round running and no action. I like to be action packed for the fans, because when I'm a fan of the sport, I like, when somebody goes, bangs, gets knocked out, gets up, and still goes through the hell.
Yeah, and Imontas, in terms of your own personal goals, obviously to conquer the division in terms of unifying would be a goal achieved for you. Do you think that after achieving that goal that you might set a target maybe of maybe five, six, seven successful defenses before moving on, or do you feel that you're sort of ready to make another jump? Din we see fighters. Maybe two weight classes, maybe different classes in terms of looking to further their resume, further their legacy? Or do you think to yourself that there's still time for me to do so much in the sport of boxing that if I unify this division that I should stay in this division for a while, have a few successful defenses before then thinking about my next sort of move? Or have you ever already, has that already crossed your mind, or is all focus just zeroed in on Jaron Boots Ennis?
I think every fighter, dreams to be undisputed,
Mm.
or the fighter to get all the belts. But sometimes it's not possible because promotional, stuff and other stuff, and some fighters doesn't want to fight, so it's not possible. But yeah, I want to be undisputed, and also I want to big fights now. 147, the 140 guys coming to 147, so I think we will get some big fights.
Yeah. And Imontas, in terms of maybe we have a terrific champion here in Ireland, the female champion, Katie Taylor. She's conquered the world. And one of her big goals is to have a dream fight in Croke Park in Ireland in front of many thousands of Irish supporters, which hasn't been made possible so far, but getting closer. Is the dream of Eimantas Stanionis as well, that once he conquers his goals and unifies the division, to maybe to have a homecoming fight in Kaunas in Lithuania or somewhere close to home as well, because it is a difficult thing for a fighter to have such a fight if you're not from the United States, or if you're not from England and London or something. It's that much harder to organise and schedule that we find here in Ireland with the same thing with Katie Taylor.
Yeah, for sure. It's my main priority, to I have to fight in my hometown. I have so many supporters, and we have a big arena in my hometown. It's like we have capital Vilnius, but I'm from other city, from Kaunas, so we have a big arena. The basketball is number one, sport in Lithuania, and they're doing big events. I was there in that arena, and the fans come and support. And I know for sure if I will fight in Lithuania, we will sold out. The arena will be sold out. So that's my plan, and that's my priority. I want to do this for sure.
Yeah. And Montes, lastly, before I let you go, and thanks for giving your time to us today. When you look at, as a boxing fan, you mentioned you're a boxing fan, and you get to look on at maybe some of the action in the other sorts of divisions, and maybe the middleweight, you get to see Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez will go, and you get to see the heavyweights with Usyk and Fury and all that. Where do you think the current state of boxing? Where do you think we are heading into 2025 as a sport? Do you think boxing is in good hands? Do you think all the divisions are healthy? Obviously, it looks from the outside looking in that your division welterweight is in a good place, and maybe the middleweights are in a good place as well. But with a new way so dominant in the lower categories, and with Usyk seem to have cleaned out all the contenders in the heavyweights. Do you think those divisions are maybe needing new people to come to the mantle in terms of for the sport of boxing, or what do you think looking on as a fan?
Yeah, as a fan, the boxing is healthy, because Turkey came now to boxing. He invested a lot of money and he's making big fights, then we never might saw them, like Tyson against Usyk, twice. Beterbiev, Bivol, and others. So I think it's in very good place, and we have like you said, heavyweights. Yeah, of course, you always need new and fresh faces. And heavyweights they have like young prospects coming up, and they'll be successful. And other weights also, it's like every weight has like potential star or the star like Inui is in Japan, then Gervonta Davis, Canelo, Benavides, so the boxing is a good state, and I like it.
Yeah, and finally, Eimantas Stanionis, on April the 12th, 2025, all the belts are on the line. The unification fight on in Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Eimantas Stanionis versus Jaron Ennis. If you had one message to all the Irish fans who might be wanting to watch this or purchase this on pay-per-view or look at the fight, what can you say to them to entice them to look at this blockbuster major boxing fight? As you know, Irish people, they have a love of boxing and a passion for boxing. What can you say is in store for them?
Yeah, I want to thank, all my supporters and my Irish, fans. I also train at Wildcard with Callum Walsh. I think you are familiar.
Yeah.
So he's a nice guy. So I've been in Dublin also with like national team. I was training over there. So yeah, I will just give the excitement, all the time when I will step in the ring. That's my promise.
Montes Stanonius, an absolute pleasure for me to Jim Conlan to talk to you today. We wish you all the success. Hopefully you achieve all your dreams in 2025. Stay safe, stay healthy in the ring. That's the main thing for every boxer. And hopefully, Montes, you will look back in 2025 as a year to remember for you. For me, Jim Conlan, to you, Montes Stanonius, stay safe, take care, and God bless, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, Montes.
Thank you.